Okay, here we go. Hi, I'm Victoria Valdez, a counselor who specializes working with kids and teens here in Brentwood, Tennessee. And today I have Yadira Gonzales from the Sexual Assault Center in Nashville to talk with me about teen dating violence, which is a really important topic. And I thank you so much, Yadira, for being here and giving me your time. So let's get started with, can you tell me a little bit about who you are and a little bit about the agency that you work for?
Yes, thank you for having me. Yes, my name is Yadira Gonzales. I'm Puerto Rican, born and raised, but I had lived here in Nashville for about 16 years. I work for the Sexual Assault Center. I'm a clinical coordinator and a bilingual clinical therapist. The SSA mission is to provide healing for children, adults, and families affected by sexual assault and to end sexual violence through counseling, education, and advocacy.
Awesome. I'm very familiar with your guys' agency, sent people your guys' way. You guys do really great work in the community and with families in counseling. So this is such an honor. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So what can you tell us, what is considered, dating violence among teenage relationships?
Okay. So dating violence is another word for, instead of domestic violence, we say dating violence because it's dating between in a teenage relationships. So dating, it would be abuse happening, patterns of abuse happening, such as physical, verbal, emotional, or sexual abuse. And lots of time this is used from one individual to maintain power and control over the other.
Right. And I think this is so important because a lot of times teenagers, as smart as they can be, sometimes, we don't know what is defined as abuse. And then we don't even know what to report because we don't understand what's happening. And also too, like, I feel like even as adults, it can be very confusing.
Yes.
What is what? All right. So thank you for explaining what that is. So, what are some of the numerical statistics of teenagers that have been affected by dating violence here in the United States?
Well, according to loveisrespect.org, 1.5 million teens experience dating abuse of some kind for each year, and only 33% of them ask for help. Yeah,
1.5 million. That's a big number. But as I'm hearing that, I also kind of think about all the teenagers who are afraid to report, or don't realize that is abuse, and then they don't report. And so I imagine that number is probably a lot larger, but because they can't track what is not reported, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, too, just the fact that 33% ask for help.
It's a very small percentage. Yeah.
Yes. It's a travesty. It's sad, as an understatement. And I think, today, moving some of the questions we'll talk about is how to get help, right? And so I think that's going to be helpful for them to know, like, where do we reach out to? So that'll be really good. So what are some red flags for teenagers and parents to look for to see if it's a violent relationship?
Okay. Some of those red flags will be within their behavior itself. So emotional abuse, one partner will be blaming the other for their own behavior, maybe making everything their fault. You'll have violent or violations of their privacy, meaning they'll look through their phones, through their stuff without asking permission. They'll demand online passwords, things of that nature. Peer pressure. One partner may tell the other how to dress, how to act, may pressure them to smoke, to use drugs, alcohol, or to even have sexual activity without even being ready for it. Harassment, that will be a constant text, calling, checking up on one of the sorry, my mind went to Spanish. So one of the partners follow you everywhere you go. Sometimes shows up at places, say, friends' houses, parties without being invited. and they begin to spread rumors about the other partner. Also, I would say isolation, which is a big one. They'll use looks or actions to scare the other partner, maybe violence to scare the other partner, destroy their properties, yell, curse. They don't want their partners to spend time with their family or friends. Also make threats. They may make threats like violence or threat of suicide if they end their relationship. Humiliation is another one. They may call you names or put you down in front of other people. They may also share personal information online without your permission, which is big around teenagers. Usually, the cyberbullying is also part of abusive behavior.
Right. As soon as you said that about how happens a lot with teenagers, the cyberbullying, I was thinking about how many teenagers are sexting and sending photographs to each other, and how partners that are being the perpetrators of the violence are using humiliation, sending their photos out.
Exactly.
Like you said, yes, it's very, very, very harmful, right? So thank you so much for giving us some red flags that parents and teenagers can look for. Yes. So now that parents have heard this, I know they're eager to know, what can I do to help my teen if, we realize that we're in trouble, that they're in a violent relationship? And then I also want to know what can teens do if they realize that they're in a violent situation? What can they do too?
Sure. I feel, first of all, parents, if they're ready, they think their teenager is ready for a relationship, being able to have the conversation about healthy relationship and unhealthy relationship, what that looks like, about respect is very important. If they do suspect that there is abuse in their teenager's relationship, being able to talk to them with compassion and being able to talk to them without interruptions and without judgment, because sometimes, especially without judgment towards the teenager's partner, sometimes the teenagers may still have strong feelings towards their dating partner despite all the abuse. If for whatever reason the child doesn't feel comfortable talking to a parent about their abusive relationship, being able to sit with them and find a common adult that they will feel safe to talk to, so that they can talk to that person instead. If a parent sees that the verbal, emotional, and physical abuse is escalating, or if it's been any kind of sexual abuse, it's important to contact school officials, the police, and child protective services. For teenagers, it's very important to know that you are valued and that no one deserves to be abused. Remember that everyone is responsible for their own behaviors. It's never your fault, and you can't change the behavior of the other partner. It is important to ask for help to someone you do trust. Let that be a parent or teacher or someone that you feel comfortable talking to. It's important to talk to them and develop a plan to keep you safe.
Yes, excellent. I loved your advice for parents and teens. It's really great. I wanted to add, as you were talking, I was thinking about when I work with parents in my own therapy practice, working with parents on, hey, how do you maintain the calm in the storm, right? You're feeling upset. You've just heard that your kiddo is being abused in a relationship. You're angry, you're hurt. How do we keep those emotions at bay so that you can have a conversation with them? A lot of times, right, the teenagers, they see their parent reaction and they close up. And so, constantly telling parents, like, if you need to take a break, in this difficult talk that you're having with your teen, take a pause, take 5, give each other both a break, and then come back.
Yes.
Right. Working on that. And then also when you're talking about the teenagers, I loved hearing finding that trusted adult, a school counselor, someone. And then too, if a teen, like what if a teen hears, sometimes, right, as a teenager, we trust our other friends.
Yes, yes.
And if you're a teenager out there and you say right now, oh my gosh, that sounds like my friend, they mentioned this, you too can go to another trusted adult or the school counselor or a parent and let them know what's going on. So this was great. Go ahead.
They can also encourage their friend
Absolutely.
to talk to an adult. Sometimes they may not even know they're in an abusive relationship. So being able to point out those behaviors to their friends.
That's so awesome. I love that. This is great. Thank you so much. So my last question for today is that what are some local resources for parents and teens who need help? What are some that you have? Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, of course. If there's been sexual assault within their relationship, they can call for the Sexual Assault Center for counseling and advocacy. Also, if the sexual assault has happened recently and the teenager is 16 years old or older, they may also go to the Sexual Assault Center SAFE Clinic. The SAFE Clinic, they will do a medical legal exam, which is used to be called the rape kit, but it's now called medical legal exam. They will also do preventive medicine to like STD testing and all the needs when an assault happens. They will not contact the police unless you say that you like to make a report. If the child happens to be less than 16 years old, younger than 16 years old, in this case, it has to be reported to the police and it has to be to the Department of Children's Services. They may go to ourkids.com to make an appointment for a medical legal exam or call our kids for an appointment. The National Children's Alliance specializes in counseling, forensic interviewing, and advocacy for resources for child abuse, and we'll be able to help with that as well. The Family Safety Center, which is located in the same location as the National Children's Alliance, also has the resources to aid in legal terms and counseling for children or adolescents.
Thank you so much. And I'll have all of this, the phone numbers and the websites, all this information at the end of our video, so they can have that. So that was great. Thank you so much again, Yadira, for your time and your expertise. And I know that this will be really helpful for parents and teens. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.